As a history professor, distinguished service professor emeritus at the University of Buffalo for the past 37 years, learned a lot in my profession as a historian, and some very interesting discussions, particularly the discussion about scalping, which is very often related to Native people. And some of the things that came across the Atlantic Ocean when our brothers first came here, besides Christianity, the idea of money, that was interesting. And some of the customs that were taking place in Europe at the time. They brought witchcraft, which was a really going concern in Europe, and the process of bounty hunting. And so in the very early 1600s and 1500s, there was a bounty on Indian men, Indian women, and even children. And varieties of costs, some very expensive, $250 or 250 pounds rather, for a male head, and half of that for a woman's head and half of that for a child's head. It was some of the customs of warfare in Europe. And that process found its way over here, pretty messy, bringing your heads in for a count. And so somebody walking in with a bag of heads said, "It's got to be a better way." Well, let's try ears. Let's try pairs of ears. Rather than bringing a whole head, bring pairs of ears, and they'll count for one. And enterprising as our brother is, it didn't take very long for him to learn how to make two pairs out of one. And so, well, that wasn't going to work. So finally they decided on that little curl in the back of every person's head. There's only one. And bring that. So it was the beginning of scalping persona. Now, this is early on. It's hundreds of years back. 15th century, 14th. And it was during those times that these things developed. And our people, the Haudenosaunee, this is our homeland, eastern part of the Turtle Island that they now call the United States. And so we met our brother early, very early. And we dealt with these innovations, and it turned into, at times, open warfare. And so you will see a lot of depictions of this Eastern native man with his head shaved and with a scalp lock. And that was our people during the times when there was a lot of fighting in this 17th, 16th century here, eastern part, Turtle Island. And so that scalp lock was a challenge. If you want it, come and get it. And so it became quite common for our men to remove their hair, rub ashes into their head, so it didn't grow back, except the scalp lock. And then, of course, it went on across the country. And so the depiction of the native person holding a scalp comes from England, comes from Europe. Most people don't know that.